series of videos about playing chess against bots on chess.com. So let's get into it. We are going to play against Martin again, same one we played against last time. We played with the white pieces, and this time we are going to play with the black pieces. So let's do that. Oh, and also I realized in my last video the 4 squares in the bottom left corner were obscured by my webcam. So I'm going to try and change things a bit so that you'll be able to see the whole board this time. I'm going to play with the black pieces, okay. So I think what we have to do is unmaximize this window. Oops. Yeah, bear with me. Still relatively new to Twitch. We're gonna just resize this, that's probably good enough. If we go to Twitch Studio, let's see. We'll try this out. I hope it works. Alright, so he opens with d4. I'm gonna play d5. I could also do knight f6 or e6, but this is what I do. And he likes the queen's gambit, a solid approach, he says. Okay, we'll just go e6. And right away comes the queen, giving check. That's probably not a solid move. We could perhaps move the bishop in between. Or we can move a pawn in between, or move a knight in between. Those are my main options. I could also move the queen in between, or I could move my king. I definitely don't want to move my king, because I might want to castle later. I'll castle later if I move my king now. So he's attacking my pawn at a7, but it's protected by the rook, so I'm not too worried about that. So let's just do the bishop move here. So just chasing his queen around a little bit. And now he's attacking my pawn at b7. So I need to move to b7, sort of, and that's okay. It's not gonna cause me any problems that I can foresee. But then again, a lot of things are unforeseen, right? Let's just move the pawn. He brings his knight out, okay. So I'm gonna just take his pawn here, which attacks his queen. He moves the pawn. He should have moved his queen, I think. Because now he's left his queen on prise, I can just take it. I'll do that. You know, I'm really winning now because I got a queen and he doesn't. So, yeah, so my advice to any beginner players out there is don't lose your queen like that. I'm going to move my bishop here, just so that my queen will have access to that pawn on d4. There we go. He moves the pawn up again. I'm not worried about that. The thing is, if I take his pawn on a5, he can take back with his rook. Then his rook's in the game, and that's going to be troublesome for me. So I think a better idea might be... If I move my pawn to a6, that impedes any further movement of his pawn, and also allows me the possibility of moving my pawn to b5 later. I wouldn't say this out loud if I were playing against a human opponent, of course. I wouldn't want him to know my plans. He moves a bishop. Okay. It's not going to bother me. 1 second. Some diggy stuff. There we go. Alright. So, am I going to take his pawn? No, I remove my... What's he doing? I guess he's decided he hasn't given away enough pieces, so I'll take his bishop. Not a bright move on his part. Okay, now... D7. Okay. He does a useless rook move, defending a pawn that I wasn't really attacking anyway, so why did he do that? He's just making it harder for himself to castle later, because he can't castle with a rook that's been moved. I'm going to move my pawn to e5. Have to do something. Okay. And now I take his pawn, threatening his knight. He chooses not to move his knight, so I take it, of course, because free pieces are good. The only time you don't want to take free pieces is when doing so blunders mate or something like that. I've seen things like that happen. I've been on both ends of that transaction, so definitely don't want to blunder mate just for a little bit of free material. But I don't think that's the case here. He's not. Okay. Alright, so I got a good attack here. If I capture his pawn on e4 with my bishop, I'll be attacking his rook and his knight. So I don't think he can save both of them, so let's do that. Okay. I could have taken his bishop. So I'm winning anyway, but I could have maybe been even more winning if I had taken his bishop. But hindsight, whatever. When you're this far ahead, you're allowed to make mistakes. Take that rook. Lose his knight to a stupid, useless place where he can't do anything with it. And actually, I'm going to win material anyway. I'll move my bishop back here, attacking his rook. He could have put his knight in between, but then I would have just taken his knight, so now I'll just take his rook. Right. Such a strong material advantage, I need to move in for the... Let's bring my knight into the party here. It's generally good to have pieces in central places. So he's attacking my bishop. I guess I can defend it with my queen. That would probably be the best option. I could have also moved my bishop. But when you're ahead like this, trading off pieces is a good thing. So let's... bring my bishop into the... Wait. If I do that, my pawn at g7 will be undefended. Can't have that. Let's just kick his knight around a little bit. You have to watch out for knight forks, by the way. If he ever manages to get his knight to, either f6 or c7, he'll be attacking my queen and my king. But he can't move his knight to either of those places right now, so I'm not too worried. But you have to be aware of those things when they do come up. Lose his knight, okay. Now I'm gonna try and trade off some pieces. Put him in check. He might capture with his knight. If he does, I can just take back with the bishop. And now he puts his bishop there, which probably isn't a bad idea, because I was thinking of moving my queen to d1, which I think would have been checkmate. But now I can't do that, so I'm gonna try and scare him with a bishop move here. Okay, I'll just take that free pawn, thank you very much. It may look like I've left my bishop on prise, but again, there's the threat of mate, so I'm not too worried. Now we'll just capture that bishop. Now I have to be careful about stalemate. He can still legally move his h-pawn, and he can also move his king to g1 if he wants to. So he's not stalemated yet. I'm going to move my bishop here just to give him some attacks. Now, I think if I move my queen to d1, will that be mate? Yeah, I think so. He can't do anything. Oh yeah, and check out my website, www.jimmyvermeer.com.